What if I told you that being tired all the time is not always a sign that you need more rest, but sometimes a sign that your body is getting the wrong signals at the wrong times? Because here's the strange part. Some people sleep longer and still wake up exhausted. Some people drink more coffee and still crash by the afternoon. Some people rest all evening and somehow feel even more drained the next day. So what's going on? Why does your body act like it has no battery, even when you're trying to recharge it? That's the puzzle, and once you understand it, a lot of your tiredness starts making a lot more sense. Hi, I'm Leo, and on Life Force Boost, I break down science-based ideas in a simple way so you can feel better, think clearer, and get your energy back. And in this video, we're going to talk about one of the most common modern problems: why you feel tired all the time, and what actually helps. Because the truth is, you are probably not lazy, you are probably not broken, and in many cases your body is not failing you. It's reacting to the way modern life is hitting your brain and body every single day. Let's start with a very familiar story. You wake up tired, so you reach for coffee. Then you push through the morning. Then sometime in the afternoon, your brain starts to feel slow. You get a second wave of tiredness. Maybe you snack. Maybe you sit more. Maybe you feel guilty for not being productive enough. Then in the evening, you're too tired to move, but somehow too wired to sleep properly. And then the cycle repeats. Sound familiar? That's because energy is not just about how much sleep you got. It's about whether your brain, body, light exposure, stress levels, movement, hydration, and routines are working together or fighting each other. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. They think energy comes from one thing, but in reality, your energy is more like an orchestra. And when one section is off, the whole thing sounds tired. Here's one of the biggest energy secrets most people never hear. Your body doesn't only care what you do, it cares when you do it. Andrew Huberman has talked a lot about this. One of the strongest tools for your sleep-wake rhythm is light exposure early in the day, especially within the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking and not later than 10 a.m. in the morning. He also emphasizes waking at a consistent time and avoiding caffeine too close to bedtime. Why does that matter? Because your brain is constantly asking, is it morning yet? Should I be alert? Should I be winding down? And light is one of the main things that answers those questions. The Huberman Lab's Sleep Toolkit and later episodes on light and circadian rhythm both emphasize that morning light helps align the body clock, while dimmer evenings support better sleep and next-day energy. So if your mornings are dark, your days are indoors, and your nights are full of bright screens, your body can start losing the rhythm that helps energy feel natural. In other words, it's not always that you need more motivation. Sometimes your system just needs better signals. Now let's talk about the second big energy thief: stress that never really ends. This is the exhausting part of modern life. A tiger would have been easier because at least a tiger attacks. And then it's over. Modern stress is different. It's emails, deadlines, scrolling, mental overload, feeling left behind, always being available, always thinking, always slightly on. And that kind of stress can make you feel tired, while also making it harder to truly recover. Swart's work repeatedly comes back to the idea that optimum brain function starts with fundamentals like rest, nutrition, hydration, exercise, and mindfulness, not endless overthinking or running on fumes. That is such an important point, because a lot of people try to think their way out of exhaustion. But sometimes the brain doesn't need more pressure. It needs more basics. And when your stress system stays activated for too long, you can end up in that strange modern state where you feel too tired to focus, too restless to relax, too drained to move, and too stimulated to sleep deeply. That's not weakness. That's overload. Now, here comes the part that sounds backwards. When people feel tired, they often move less, which makes them feel even more tired. And that is one of the biggest traps. I have covered this in another video about movement and how it supports sleep, mood, and long-term health. Movement is not just something that uses energy, it is also something that helps regulate energy. That's why sometimes a brisk walk helps more than another cup of coffee. Not because walking is magical, but because your body is designed to work better when it moves. And Tara Swart makes a similar point in her brain health advice. Exercise, especially aerobic movement and even a brisk walk, supports the brain and can help create a better environment for mental sharpness and resilience. So if you've been waiting to feel energetic first before moving, you may need to flip that. Sometimes movement is not the reward for having energy. Sometimes movement is the door into energy. Here's another simple truth that gets ignored because it's not flashy. A tired brain often needs basics. Tara Swart's framework is beautifully simple here. Rest, fuel, hydrate, oxygenate, simplify. That matters because many people are trying to fix exhaustion with hacks while skipping fundamentals, not drinking enough, not eating regularly, living on fast energy and then crashing, trying to recover with screens instead of real recovery. And while tiredness can have many causes, the NHS specifically lists things like poor sleep, unhealthy lifestyle patterns, stress, low exercise, and other life pressures among common reasons people feel tired all the time. Even hydration can matter more than people think. Clinical nutrition guidance for fatigue notes that dehydration can worsen tiredness and that irregular eating patterns can work against sleep and energy regulation. So sometimes the question is not, what supplement do I need? Sometimes the better question is, have I given my brain and body the basics they've been asking for all day? Now, one important thing, if you feel tired all the time for weeks and you can't explain it, don't just assume it's normal. Because the National Health System also points out that ongoing fatigue can sometimes be linked to conditions like sleep apnea, iron deficiency anemia, diabetes, thyroid issues, or chronic fatigue syndrome, especially when other symptoms are present. So yes, lifestyle matters a lot, but if your tiredness is persistent, getting worse, or comes with other warning signs, it's worth checking properly. That's not overreacting. That's being smart. So why do you feel tired all the time? Sometimes because you're sleeping poorly, sometimes because stress is running in the background all day, sometimes because your body clock is getting mixed signals, sometimes because you're undermoving, underhydrating, overstimulated, or trying to run a human brain like it's a machine. But the bigger message is this: your energy is not random. Your tiredness is not always just who you are. A lot of the time, your body is responding logically to the way your life is structured, and that is actually good news. Because what has been shaped can also be reshaped. Not overnight, not perfectly, but step by step. Morning light, better sleep timing, less stress overload, more movement, more basics, less chaos. That is where energy starts to come back, not from punishing yourself, but from working with your biology instead of against it. So if this video helped you feel a little more understood and a little more hopeful, subscribe to Life Force Boost. And if you want, start with one thing tomorrow morning. Get outside, move your body, give your system a better signal. And now, go get your daily Life Force Boost.